my name is Govinda Musico, and I'm coming from Italy and from Goa as well, since I grew up here and passed here a lot of time of my life.
How long have you been doing music for? Is this your full time career or do you do any other jobs as well?
Playing music at 15 years old, 15, 16 years old, so it has been a lot. It's like more than 20 years at the moment I'm making music and playing. And since the last 5 years, I started also working with CBD weed, like legal weed in Europe. And well, I'm organizing events since many years and give management for different festivals, support for festivals, and yeah, I generate that.
So, why the name Govinda? Is that like your real name?
Is my real name, and yeah, Govinda. Govinda is my real name, and it's given my father and my mother since they are traveler since the 70s, and all my brothers and sisters have international names, especially Indian.
So, when was the time when you decided to do music for the rest of your life? When was that moment, when you're like, okay, music is what I want to do?
Well, I was playing music. I was a DJ since I was 15 years old because I grew up in Goa, and here in Goa, or you were a DJ, or you were dancing all the time and just having fun. I'm not that kind of person. I love to celebrate, but I love to be productive. I love to do things. So when I was like 15, 16, 17, I realized that making music was fun, playing music was fun, giving this pleasure to people was fun. So I kept going with that. I also had another job with my father in Italy, but then I realized that my way was to make events and play music. And then during COVID, I started to make my own music.
So, what kind of music have inspired you along the way?
Well, at the beginning, the guys that was making the music I liked more was GMS, Asterix. We are back in '99. And Logic Bomb was one of the best as well. And then Hux Flux came, making something a bit different. And then Digital Talk came, and the CPU. They started to make something that was slightly different. And then when I heard Aja in 2008, I think was around 2008 in Nepal, I felt something different was starting to come out. And then during the pandemic, I was listening a lot to forest music. And even if I had my brother making forest and I know Parvati Records since many years, that was the time that I felt more in love with that music because I couldn't dance. I was at home cuddling the kids and listen with the AirPods music. So it was nighttime and I was just traveling and I couldn't go out. I was just at home all the time. So the only way to space out was something that was kind of softer for the mind, more, bubbly and more psychedelic. So that was the time also that I started to produce. So when I went in the studio, I wanted to do something different. I wanted to do always different sounds, not sounds that I was already listening.
Apart from Psytrance, were there any other music that inspired you? And why did you choose Psytrance and not any other styles of music like jazz or rock?
I think that everyone base his choices on experiences. My experiences are based in Psytrance. I grew up in the Psytrance community. I grew up in Goa. When I was going back to Italy, I was going to club listening dance music. I was going to some concerts as well. But my blood was psytrance. I was happy to listen that, and I loved that music. When I was going back to Italy, back in the days when I was 18, 19 or so, then I was going to trance party, and I am that. So that's why my choices was that.
When and where was your first psychedelic experience?
My first psychedelic experience was around 16, 17 years old, and I was at Disco Valley. I was there with my brother, with my friends, and I kind of understood a bit better what that sound was about. Because before that, I was already going to parties with my parents, which even if I was smaller, they was bringing me like like for a few hours during the daytime, sometime during the nighttime. but I was not really understanding what was behind the music. I was seeing people dancing in front of the speaker. But then when I was 17, 18, I understand better about what was behind the music and what was more about the concept of the music.
Was it difficult to survive as a musician? Were there problems that you faced along your journey? Did you ever think that, okay, I don't think I can do it. I need to stick to 9 to 5 job.
Absolutely, I had it. But since the beginning, I come from a double job things, because when I was 18, I was starting to organize events, but at the same time, I was working with my father with exhibitions in Italy. So I was already having two jobs. And then I decided to starting events. Okay, so I started events production. So I was playing, but I knew already that just by playing music it wasn't enough. Also because or you produce music and you make your own music, or you need to do something else for the scene if you want to give something to the scene. Because if you want to get something from the scene, you have to give. So to give that, as a DJ, you can't just play music. I mean, nowadays you just need to put a stick in the USB in the in the CDJs and press play, and now there is even the queue and everything. It's pretty easy. You can even ask IE to prepare a set for you, for example, I guess. So the point is, being a DJ is not only select music. From my point of view, being a DJ means support your scene. So you want to support your scene? How can you do it? You need to support the artist. So make a label. Give the opportunity to artists to promote and push their music. Make events. Make other people know about Psytrance music. Create something, and things will come back. So for me, that was the right balance. And I grew up in Goa, so I was making many things in Goa. Then when during the pandemic I had my kids, I also wanted to have another kind of life to balance it well.
Now, I've seen there's a cold war between DJs and producers. I don't know if I should call it a war, but sometimes the producer is like, oh, he's just a DJ, he's not even making his own music. But let's take a situation here where a producer is supposed to play for 4 hours, but just has 1 hour of his music. Even he's going to DJ then, isn't it? So, what do you think about that? What is your take on all these understanding or clashes between DJs and producers?
Well, let's say that without producers, DJ wouldn't exist. Let's start from this point. So first of all, it's thanks to all the people that pass their life in the studio, sound designing, getting crazy with mixdown. These we really need to give a lot of importance to, because that's what really takes time, and that what really makes you even risk to get a bit crazy. It's a super hard job to be a producer. Personally, I really loved it. When I was in the studio for a long time, I loved it. But why I loved it so much? I loved it so much because since I was 18, I was making DJ sets. So I totally focused, like from morning 4 o'clock a.m. I was waking up just to learn. So I was just there all day long, studying, and I was already having a good, let's say, like roots from my brother Arjuna, because I was many time with him in the studio. But it's different when you are working on it. And yes, I personally feel that making music, it's the most amazing thing. Like, I love it. It's beautiful. Making DJ set, preparing DJ set, listening music, I love it. But it's like open up a candy that it's already done. It's a beautiful candy, but that candy is done. This is one part of the point. The other part, you can't have only live act, live act, because live act, they're not all perfectly matching together, or many live act, they are pretty similar. You know, good DJs can make amazing sets, unless you are, like Arjuna, Aja, or artists that play for many years. You don't have 2 3 hours of great production, because the oldest production are obviously different than the new one. And that's, I think, also the good part of being a DJ. You can mix different things.
With all the samples and presets and loops that are out there, and most of the artists using the same thing, don't you think technology is making the music more mechanical and less musical? Are people becoming more brand oriented?
Yeah, I think that um, the main reason why a lot of music is similar is because it's simpler, and to follow formats. You know, first of all, because you see that that guy, it's rocking, so you want to rock like him. So it's kind of natural trying to do something similar to him. First point. Second point, there is a lot of sounds and and can use to make similar sound to someone else. So that's also one of the reason. And but unfortunately, I would say, for the artist, if you don't do something original, you will always be part of the many artists that they are available when you're making a lineup. But if you don't create something original, it's super hard to create your own position in the music scene, so that promoters and who makes lineup say, "Wow, that guy is creating something new." Why they should book you if you are making the same sound of someone else, but just because you are newer. So it's important, I think, to create something new. I think that for all the artists out there, and even for me, that in music production, I have so much to learn and so much to experience. I love to experiment.
Ah, okay. So technology is not making music mechanical. It's all in the mind.
Absolutely, it's all inside us. Technology is something that you need to use. So, you can use it in many ways. Personally, I feel super thankful to all this technology, all these tutorials that was in YouTube that gave me the opportunity to understand how to make that sound on Serum. But how many times I made that sound on Serum? I did once. Then after I learned that technology that way, I like them, and it's different.
What if someone is really passionate about music but can't afford a studio, can't have that heavy equipments? I mean, I completely understand that you need studio to do the final track and mastering and things. But what if someone is not able to afford it? Do you think he can still make music in just a pair of headphones and a good laptop?
Absolutely. I personally think that there's nothing about it's not about how your studio is. It's about how your creativity is. It's all about that. Personally, I don't think that we need big studios. We need good inspiration. Our music, especially, it's a lot about inspiration. There's many people sending me music to listen, and I would love to hear something that is not perfectly, done, but that have a story. If you reach a nice creative way, I need music that it's danceable. I'm not a person that love music that is not danceable. So I need that rhythm. I need that gain. It needs to be funky, but it needs at the same time to be a trip. It needs to change. It needs to create a story, and it needs to have space, and it needs to have atmospheres. And so when all those things are together, then at that point, the technology that nowadays we have, even with the headphones of €100, yeah, I mean, it's not €10, but it's €100. With some time, you can get a headphones of €100, and with a normal Ableton, cracked Ableton, with the plugins originally from Ableton, you can already do killer tracks. And personally, I did like that. I didn't have a killer studio. When I started in my house, I just had headphones. because I was living in a small house in Italy, and in that house I couldn't make a studio. So I had my kids coming, and I was super busy with them. So I was doing music at 4 a.m. till midday, and I was doing it with the headphones, and that's it. And then once the track was done, I sent it to mastering. Was those track amazing in terms of quality production? No, I'm sure they weren't, but the story was nice. People was enjoying it on the dance floor. And when you play in a party, yeah, the quality is important, but it's not the main thing. The main thing is the creativity side.
These psychedelic festivals, what are they about?
Yeah, I feel that when you go to a festival, when you go to a Psytrance festival, you can see that it's a bit different than when you go, for example, to a techno festival or to a EDM festival. Why? Because the people connect each other much more. There's more unity between people. There's more interest in going over the superficial word, you know, in terms of connecting with the people, in terms of also the the feeling, what the person wants, the intention of the people. So I feel that when you go to a Psytrance festival, the intention of many people, it's not to have a superficial experience, but to have an experience that can also make them grow, that can create deeper connection with people, and that can also have a strong connection with themselves, thanks to the experience they are living. What I see in our events, in our scene, in our culture, that create also friendship, create a very nice unity.
Does your artist lifestyle affects your personal lifestyle a lot?
Obviously, if you are an artist, your life is not normal. Let's start from this point. In French, they say, c'est triste la vie d'artiste, which means the life of artist is sad, is not, which is not so nice. But the artist life, it's not that easy. Like people are happy to see on social media, woo, blasting, and then yeah, super good, super. But it's not just that the reality. It's quite hard to travel all the time. Personally, I personally feel that, yeah, it's quietly sometimes alienating.
When was your first event, man?
Okay, my first gig was actually at Nine Bar, and I was there, and Roger was a old DJ that was playing at the time, and I asked him if I could play at Nine Bar one day, because I was just starting to have my own mini disc, and I was collecting them, and I wanted to share it. My brother was also starting at the time, and he told me yes, tomorrow. There's a free slot tomorrow. And I'm like, holy shit, tomorrow already? Okay. And basically I didn't have any CDJs, nothing. So I asked to my friend the CDJ. Then this guy couldn't give it to me. Then they brought me some Denon CDJs that the first track was not working. Every mini disc I was putting, the first track was not working. So it was very chaotic set. I was, I think, 15 or 16, yeah, something like.
What are your suggestions to the upcoming artists and producers?
When you are in the studio, when you are making music, you don't have the ansia, ansia of, oh, I need to play gigs, I need to make, I need to pay my apartment. I understand that it's normal, because if you want to do that as a main job, for sure. But maybe it's better that you have something else that can keep your 4 or 5 hours a day. Don't even care if people gonna like it. Personally, I didn't give, I didn't care about that. I just wanted to enjoy the moment. And I suggest, I mean, I don't know what is the right things to do, but personally, That's my feeling.
So tell me something about Believe Lab.
Well, Believe Lab is a label I started in 2016, and it's a label that we are a good team. There's Alvaro, which is Aram, artist from Brazil, that is the manager of the label. I'm the owner, but I'm not working every day for the label. He's the person that take care of all the releases, and he's a very good guy. There is a Zompa that is helping with many different things. We are a good collective. We are a lab because we want to give the feeling that we are a lab. We are a laboratory that create music, create events, and we support artists as much as we can. And considering the fact that each one of us, each one of us needs to give their own push to themselves because we are there to support, but the artist needs to be there, because nowadays, if you're not active, if you are not there pushing yourself and energetically, and you just sit back and think that the label do things for you, things will not work. We are not a Sony Music production. We are a labels of an underground movement. So it's very important that the artists move on, push themselves, and then once we see that the artists are pushing and giving their best, then we also do our best. And I think that this is how the things should work.
Okay, tell me three things that people don't know about you.
I love to play football. I love to. I'm not even smoking at the moment. Yeah, maybe I can smoke a cigarette once in a while, but I really love to be healthy. I really love to make sport. I think that it's super important for all of us to enjoy, but really be thankful. Be thankful to our life because life is the most precious thing, and we really need to give a lot to our body, to our soul, to grow. Because to have fun, it's amazing, but sometime party can also make us lose what is also the right way. And the right way for me it's to balance it well. During the last year, I lost many friends, and I'm still having hard moment for this, and that's also why I would love to tell to anyone like, guys, life is beautiful. Psychedelic music is beautiful. And it's more beautiful if we live it in a way where our body is feeling good, our mind is clean, and we can balance it well. Once you start to abuse of those kind of experience, then everything become more flat. So take care of yourself, and this is what I feel to say, that it's something that maybe I don't speak so much about it, but I feel that we all should remember and take care of. Okay, Indian South Collective by Chromaderma is um is a nice project actually. I'm happy to see that there is those kind of happenings in our scene because we need the culture to be spread. We need the culture to be spread to more people possible, and I feel that people needs to see who is behind that image or that sound or that track that they normally see just by a picture or just by a name on a flyer. I think it's important that everyone around can learn what is behind that symbol, that superficial thing, so that they can get more inspiration and can get more connected, and like this they can feel more part of it, and that way we all create a stronger community.